I got a surprise for my subscribers and YouTube followers. Mega Geek Mixer is back to reviewing comics. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys a review on a comic series. That's right, guys. I am finally bringing back my comics review content after being on a so long hiatus. I have decided it's time to bring it back, and I decided why not do a review on my second favorite Robin, second only to Nightwing himself, that being Damian Wayne, with the first 5 issues of his solo series that started in Robin, done by Josh Williamson's, and I must say I'm loving this direction, and I also love the art. But before going into that, I want to talk about my thoughts on the road to it. Now, I remember hearing about other people and all that saying how they didn't like how Damian's character was being in Teen Titans, this and that and this, with the direction of as what they would call character regression, but I looked at it differently. I looked at it as relapse. Why do I say that? Well, I'm going to explain to you guys the difference between relapse versus character regression. Now, if you know anything about character regression, you know it's where they regress people back to who they used to be without any plot or explanation. It just happens all so suddenly like that, which, no offense to any of those who used to think that. I understood why y'all thought that, because with every new writer that came in and took over the writing that centered around Damian Wayne, they did look like they were doing that. For the majority of it, most of them did do that. And for a majority of them, most of them didn't do that. They did show that they did know about who his character was and how much it was progressing. Maybe not fully, but a little to know it and to put it in there. But they would still get that jerkish attitude, just in a more unlikable way that I could understand why people thought this was character regression. And not to mention, since Damien has such a big fan base and people always getting tired of seeing that, it's natural that their emotions would get the better of them and not look at things in a creative perspective during the whole Teen Titans run and everything. Why do I say that? Because yes, like them, I can get it, and why I would think it was character regression if I was not reading other comics that would make me think otherwise. No, this wasn't character regression at all for Damien during this whole dark turn and back to his old self personality during Teen Titans and on the road thereon after. Why do I say that? Well, because if you guys think about it, first off, he lost his buddy, Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson means much to Damien. He's like the first friend he's ever really had. And then he's got John. And then there's John Kent, who became older, and that just messed things up. I mean, sure, they're still friends. It's just not that same feeling that they used to feel and stuff. And not to mention his issues with his father. But the real most important thing of all, to really explain, to know why this was character relapse and not regression, was Alfred. Yes, if you guys know what happened during Thomas Wayne going up against his son Bruce and know about what Damien did, it was Damien's cause of Alfred dying. And in doing so, that right there is more than enough trigger to make him go into a relapse session, which is why I saw things from a character's perspective and why I had no problems with him in Teen Titans being this way, because I understood why he was this way. Now, having said that, though, I can also understand other people's point of saying, couldn't they have done a little more explanation on that to make them better understand it? Even if it was pretty obvious to some of us, some others out there needed to be more explanatory. But now, having said that, and my thoughts on the whole relapse versus regression thing and his guilt of Alfred, we got to go into the first 5 issues of Robin. And must I say, I like this direction, as Josh Williams is, as in his words, working on making Damien go down to the road of heroism. Now, for me personally, if he does make him heroism, but keep that jerkish attitude and show more of that vigilante with heroism in there, I can be fine with that. What I'm basically saying is I don't want full-on hero for Damien, because I just don't really feel that would fit him in a way. In other words, keep that jerkish attitude and yeah, be a hero, but be more kind of like a metal in the gray and the hero, if you get my point there. But nevertheless, we all know that that Damian in this issue, he started it off because he's trying to get into a tournament on an island called Lazarus Island, run by a group known as the League of Lazarus. Yeah, we've had League of Assassins, League of Shadows, and now League of Lazarus. And they are hosting a tournament that has a group of many of the greatest fighters in the world coming together. All but a few out there, like Lady Shiva and Batman. Batman, who at the start of the first issue is working with the Bat family to look for Damian. And you can just tell the guilt on him that he's just not happy with how things have been and how he hasn't been working to better himself and helping Damian. But he still shows love for his son and everything. But it still doesn't change the fact that right now, with the way Damian is right now, he needs to figure things out on his own. Just like what will be explained more when I get into issue 5 here. But let me just say that I love the introduction with how they did it. They did it in Mortal Kombat style, with Damian finally getting his ticket into the tournament. He gets on a boat, they're on an island, and then the island tells him of no outside interference from the outside world, no contacts, etc., etc., etc. Man, I still liked it. As Damian entered it, you just see a slew of characters. Some you know, some you don't know. You got old characters like Raptor, Ravager, Connor Hawk, and then a slew of new characters. You got Respawn, who's dressed like Deathstroke. You got Mother Soul, the host of the event. Then you got Flatline, who is the apprentice of a C-list Batman character, I think Lord Deathstar or something like that. Then you got some of these other people that Damian was warned about later by Ravager, called Double XL and Black Swan. But either way, it was interesting how the first issue started off by scaring us and showing that they killed off Damian. But it's okay, as in the end, it turns out that everyone has to die, but they are resurrected on Lazarus Island, mostly due to some sort of magic or trickery or whatever's going on behind the scenes that Mother Soul and the League of Lazarus are doing. Because that's mainly why Damian is on that island. He's investigating them to find out what they're up to so he can no doubt stop them and stuff. And yes, he's finding it on his own because he needs this in order to help him get through the things. Because throughout his journey, he's showing that his guilt conscience is being formed in the form of Alfred here. So no doubt as the series go on, he'll eventually come around to where the guilt part of him will disappear once he's finally able to maybe own up to it or move on from it. You know what I'm talking about. But still, the League of Lazarus tournament, very interesting to say the least. Like I said, kind of Mortal Kombat style, but a little different in the fact that when you die, you are resurrected. And you only, excuse me, what I was trying to say is all the fighters need to die once before the tournament can actually begin. In other words, it's starting at the preliminary rounds and the first few issues before issue 5, where at the end, the tournament officially begins. And in the fact that if you die 3 times, you permanently die, while the winner of the tournament will gain immortality. But as it's shown, Robin's not interested in that. He's on that island because he's trying to investigate things. And now, having said that, though, I must also now go into the fact on how in this issue we are revisited by the friendship Damian Wayne and Rose Wilson had. Or better yet, yeah, I guess you can put it that way. Basically, what I'm saying is a sort of reminiscing or revisit to the friendship they had that existed in pre-New 52 before New 52 started. Because for any of y'all who read any of the pre-New 52 Teen Titans books, back when Ravager was a member of the Titans and Damian kind of was temporarily in there, they formed a bit of a friendship and stuff. And I am glad that Josh Williams decided to give that time to make people revisit and reminisce about it, as he was showing us here on how Ravager was deciding to explain Damian the rules, but also in the fact that she wanted to teach Damian how to have fun. Yes, she was trying to teach him that because Batman cannot teach him that. Not one whatsoever. And must I say, she did a pretty good job, but as she also showed, she's on that island for her own reason. She's trying to look for someone who she might suspect is Respawn, which no surprise there. I mean, if this guy or girl, whoever it is that is dressed up as Deathstroke, that's gotta be whoever she's looking for. But even still, though, she warned him to be wearful of the real competition. One of them, and most importantly, being Connor Hawk, the son of Oliver Queen, aka the Green Arrow, who both Robin and Connor both took a time to bond a little due to their father issues. But it's shown here to know that we must remember Connor Hawk is working with the League of Shadows to no doubt, first off, defeat Damian Wayne, keep them out of their misery, because for the League of Shadows, Damian Wayne's a failure, and they're trying to have Connor Kent be what Damian Wayne couldn't have been. And it's clear that they have business with the League of Lazarus. Whatever that is, though, we will find out, because we all know, first off, Mother Soul is the big time villain in this, at least from what we're seeing so far here. But despite all that, and in the fact that they wanted Damian out of the picture, luckily for Damian, when Connor was trying to get him off the island, who was there to save him but Ra's al Ghul, who has been in hiding ever since his battle with Batman and the Outsiders from the Outsiders comic that recently ended after 16 issues, which, by the way, a pity. I was liking that. I actually thought it was good. But he at least gets a little reunion with his pet Goliath and gets a little training time in with his grandfather, who trains him on his mind. Because if there's one thing to be certain of during this entire series of Robin so far, is that even though like he is showing more of this likable personality that people can be okay with, he's still showing that some of the stuff he did have, he still kind of lost due to the whole thing with Alfred. And that's kind of some more of his humane side, which luckily he is able to get back, all thanks to the reunion of his family in the form of his brother and sisters, the Robins, all came before him. Yes, even including Stephanie. Even though I don't necessarily put her as part of the full-on Robins, she still was briefly Robin, so it only makes sense. Even though I don't remember her and Damian really having that much interaction, unless you count that Elseworld story where she became his Robin when he became Batman, which, by the way, love that suit on him and stuff, and love that whole thing with John and him still being together as super sons, but now taking over the mantles of their dads. But either way, what I loved about this issue right here is in the fact that, like, despite like all the issues that he has right now, the Robins know that since his issues with his father aren't good right now, they are the best ones to probably talk to him at the moment. And they found him thanks to Ravager telling Red Hood, which is what caused them to find him. And this is what led into a big old rooftop chase, or better yet, rooftop race. Let me actually find it. Yes, rooftop race. I must say that was really fun to see there, and see how like when he was doing it, how he got the best of some of them. Most of them, like say Stephanie and Tim, he got the best of them by trying to make them be more closer together since they're on a break, as it were. Which, by the way, don't like this thing with them making Tim bite. That was unnecessary. But still, I think one of the funnier ones was at first when he looks like he got the best of Dick Grayson as they were jumping through the city with their wires. What does Robin do? He cuts Nightwing's wire, and Nightwing's just like, that is me. Oh, that's so funny. But I think the best one of all was when he got to Jason emotionally. Oh, did he really give him a shock? And I literally mean a shock. Let me find it. Yes, right there. That was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing at that. But I think the best part of all, and one of the reasons why I always love Nightwing and Robin's relationship, is that they just have that bond with each other. First off, Nightwing gives him a happy birthday gift, even though his birthday had passed a bit. And what was that birthday? But what was that? Let me find that there. Yes, here it is. It was something that Alfred gave him, and it says versus the world. And then he goes on opening up to Damian about all the struggles he had to face while he was going through being being the Robin to Batman and leader of the Titans and stuff. This allowed him, by doing that, it also allowed Damian to open up about how Alfred's death really affected him. He had seen death so many times, but when it came to Alfred, it was a whole nother story, which is only natural. This is Alfred we're talking about. He is pretty much the glue that held the Batman family together, because Bruce can't do that. Alfred was that person. So and I'm really glad they showed us this. And it was only natural it'd be with Nightwing, because Nightwing, in the end, before allowing Damian to go off and do his own thing and find his own journey, just like all the other Robins had to, is that what makes their bond so special is that, unlike all the other Robins who were Robin to Bruce, Damian was Nightwing's Robin. That's what makes those two have such a special bond. No matter what, that bond will always be there. And I'm glad Josh Williams let people be reminded of why these two have such a special bond. In any case, though, after doing that, he finally made his way back to the island. And yes, now the tournament begins, which will begin soon. And I gotta say, I'm excited. But either way, guys, there it is. Those are my thoughts. And I gotta say, love this direction Josh Williams is going so far. And I can't wait to see where it goes from here. But until then, that'll be all for today, guys. And I'll be back later on to do my next review of the next issue. And until then, you enjoy my videos, all you gotta do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, Mega Geek Mixer signing out. Bye.